From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
It's a beautiful morning. Welcome to Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Ekpo Temple. On the show today, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria denies omitting Ofili from 100-meter race in Paris. And that Accra has a knockout of the Paris Olympic doubles. And in football, former England manager gets new job. Details of this and many more will be yours in RGF.
Telling them not to counterpunch. Telling them not to counterpunch.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
telling them not to counterpunch. Telling them not to counterpunch.
Alright, welcome back from that break. I have Emmanuel Michael here in the studio, and of course, it promises to be another showcase on the morning show. Welcome, Mike.
Yeah, a fabulous morning to you, Tempo, and good morning to our viewers out there.
Alright, quickly, let's start with some tech ball news. We hear that the River State Sports Commissioner was handy yesterday to receive the tech ball team, officials and players of the River State tech ball following their triumph at the championship that was held in Abia State. It also served as a qualifier, and then that one was led by Director of Sports in River State, Mr. Ibigoni Benjamin Akobo, who presented the trophies and medals to the Sports Commissioner in his office. I'm sure that it was a lovely time yesterday getting to see Rivers West tech ball team, received by the Sports Commissioner for their lovely outing.
Yeah, you and I talked about this tech ball and the growing concern as regard to other states here in the country not being able to also maximize the opportunity in trying to delve into other areas of sport that is relatively unknown. And we're giving kudos to the River State tech ball federation because of their massive growth so far, where they've gained mastery over this sport, and even ready, according to them, 1 month ago, that they are even ready to pass this knowledge to other states and other, tech ball players who will be willing, to take it as their career. And of course, at that point, we made it known that at least River State has come a long way. I mean, they have that advantage over other states right now in terms of tech ball, and it wasn't just a media hype. It actually came to reality looking at their performances out there. So I think it's an impressive one. in the Olympic game, we keep talking about other countries, what they are doing differently, why they are able to amass a lot of medals, even in day 2, day 3, day 4 of the competition. Some of these countries have also been able to even achieve our own dream of winning 12 medals in all. Before day 4, day 5, some of these countries, China, the likes of United States of America, France, they've already, they are already living in our dream by even winning more than that. Why? Because they are taking advantage in the other areas of sport that is relatively unknown. What if Nigeria had taken part in a tech ball event in the Olympic game? It is another way we should have been able to at least win 1 or 2 medals. So for me, I think having seen the exploit, having seen the growth and the perfection in tech ball, I think it also behoves on the state sport ministry as well to also continue to, help them financially, morally, to also upgrade and keep learning through the ladder so that at least we become a force to be reckoned with. And when you talk about River State, the clubs or the sport that they are specials in, then you talk about tech ball, basketball before you talk about any other sport. So for me, I think it's an impressive one.
It is an impressive one. The championship, of course, getting to finish third at that particular one, participating in 3 of the championship, also living up to expectation, and then ensuring that they go out to represent River State in grand style. We saw a lot of names yesterday. Gladys Abasi clinching a gold in the women's doubles final to secure a spot in the championships slated for the future, because the date is yet to be known. Congratulations to them. Away from that, now let's talk athletics, and this time in the ongoing Paris Olympic, it is day 6 of the championship, and I can tell you that the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has said that the body cannot explain how the name of the women's 200-meter national champion, Favour Ofili, got missing from the women's 100-meter event of the Paris Olympic Games. Ofili raised alarm on Tuesday night, accusing the Nigerian Olympic Federation Committee and the AFN of failing to register her. And the technical director of the AFN, Samuel Onikuku, however, said the body is shocked as athletes over the development. However, a check on the entry list published by the World Athletics shows that Ofili will be competing in the 200 and women's 4x100 meter relay. And this is another, more like a pinch on Nigeria. Whether omission or commission, intentional or not intentional, we have missed out on opportunity that we do merit to be part of.
Sure, it is a heavy blow, a very big blow to the career of Favour Ofili out there. And having worked for 4 good years, waiting for this golden opportunity for you to showcase your talent to the world out there. Fortunately, because of the irresponsiveness of the people in the arms of affair in the NOC, she's not going to take part in the 100-meter. I think for me it's quite disappointing. She's heartbroken, and this may also even affect her performance in the 200-meter and even the 4x100-meter relay race, because emotionally she's destabilized right now. Going to the media, so that it's at the aims of affair, you stand a chance of not participating after preparing for 4 good years. But then I think the Minister of Sport is on it. He has also given his word. He's not taking it lightly. And for me, I think that the culprits, they must be brought to book. And I believe that the NOC is the right body that should be held culpable for this grievous mistake, because it is the NOC, talking about the Nigerian Olympic Committee. The duty falls within their own table as well to also enlist names of athletes that have qualified direct to the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, because the AFN, which is the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, doesn't have the right to table or list the name of qualified athlete to the NOC. They are not the body. It is the NOC, which is the Nigerian Olympic Committee, that is in their responsibility, is within their own jurisdiction to send names of Nigerian athletes that are qualified to the International Olympic Committee. But they failed in their duty, and that is why we are having this back and forth, and all of that. But then, like I said, I think it's a shame, and the people involved in this mistake, they must be fished out and punished adequately, because it's a slap, to the hard work and effort of Favour Ofili in the past 4 years.
Of course, Ofili qualified for the women's 100 meter during the AFN National Trials, which was held at the Bumudia Stadium in Benin City. She had a new personal best of 11.06 seconds to secure her first national title as well. Mike, when I saw this story, I saw the story on, I think that was on Monday and Tuesday precisely, and I felt that I knew that something is in. I knew when I saw her complaint, I knew that something is in, and very unfortunate what has really happened. But like you said rightly, it looks like we don't learn in this part of the divide, because when you look at the way things are going, especially in the Athletics Federation, you ask yourself who. The duty of the Athletics Federation is to transmit, and Onikuku has not come out to express that they failed to transmit that. So their work is to transmit the files of athletes, because it's a federation. Transmit it to the NOC, as you rightly said. So the question is, how he has launched an investigation into the inquiry, and the Minister John Owen Eno, is thinking that if this is true. I mean, but we have heard about these things. So he just made a reference to what happened in 2021 when some of our team, failed to be part of the IOC, hosted them out because of failure of doping tests and all that. It's not that they failed the doping test, but they failed to. There was no result of that.
Yes, to take part in the doping test.
So, and let's see the outcome of this investigation. But I hope that this will not be nipped in the bud. I know how the administrations are done here, but like I said, I just hope that this will not be nipped in the bud, because you never can tell whether Ophelia could go all the way to win a medal at the 100 race.
Sure.
So opportunities come calling, and you want to win at 12 medals, and you have just lost one medal.
Through even before they get on the track,
he lost the medal already.
Exactly, and it's very bad. And just like you say, we hope that this one will not be swept under the carpet, because we've seen this, erroneous display from administrators over the years. Don't also forget that many times when our athletes he suffers from one injustice or the other from the hands of the federating unit, maybe the Athletic Federation of the World, the Boxing Council of the World, name it, we do not take the responsibility or the pains of our athletes or our sportsmen and women to heart. When they get into one trouble or accusation or the other, then we just alienate ourselves away from such person and allow the person to be alone. Why should it be that way? It should be the responsibility of we fighting for them as they were, because they are representing the country. You could also remember that in time past, the likes of Kabare with Choma Ajunwa, sometimes they were accused of doping issue and all of that. Sometimes they are not guilty, because sometimes they will come out to say that they are very clean, they are competing on a clean slate. But the Nigerian Athletic Federation, they will not say anything. They won't even fight for this athlete. Now, the recent one, Emotion. If Toby Emotion did not stand her ground,
with the level, and the level of what she's achieved.
Yes, if she did not,
I'm sure her college, in the US, also stood by her.
Was very instrumental
yes,
as well. Because if she did not stand her ground and deploy every power necessary to ensure that she cleans her name from that, three whereabout missing test, by now, Toby Emotion may not even be part of this Olympic contingent, because that ban, if it took effect on her, she
cannot be part of it.
Exactly. And you ask yourself, what did the Athletic Federation do during the period where she was passing all this? If she failed to cry out and stand on her ground, that is how the matter would have been swept under the carpet. Now, few days ago, you heard that the drone of the Canadian teams went to their opponent camp to spy them, and they were fined. Even the players and the team as well, 6 points was deducted from their women football team. Whereas, less than 24 hours, like I said yesterday, the Canadian authority came up to challenge that decision. They take the matter to CAS. Less than 24 hours. They said, okay, if you want to penalize anybody, it should be the coach that have taken responsibility. Of course, they've sent the coach packing, but for the players, they are innocent, so you cannot deduct 6 points from these players because they are innocent of this. Now you take a look at the boxer, the Nigerian boxer that was disqualified. She's still crying foul that she's innocent.
And we've not heard a formal appeal
from NOC
from the boxing,
or
from the boxing federation.
which should be the responsibility of them to pick up this case and fight in her favor. But this is how many days right now? The matter has died down. The authority have even given a quick notice for her to vacate the Olympic Village.
And as a matter of fact, in fact, I love when I saw that stuff, I looked at the way the NOC, the NOC expressed that they received a letter informing them that one of our athletes should vacate, so we'll just abide. Of course, you abide, but their modus, the way they take things like this, one can, I mean, we will not sit down here and say that they may not have done their job. We will not. But I think that what we get to see is what we see in the media.
Definitely.
And the only way we know that you're doing your job is when we have a feedback from you officially, from the media. So whatever you're doing and it's not visible to us, I mean, the Canadian stuff, everything, I mean, these days doesn't take anything. Bam, is on internet.
Everything.
So, I mean, we need to see the effort. We need to be convinced. That's the level we're going. We need to be convinced that the effort of our federation leadership and the committees set up for this Olympic NOC in this contest, are doing their best to alleviate the challenges that ordinarily should come the way of our athletes. Because like every other nation, we've seen that too. And the moment anything come upon, you see them rising to the occasion. And our own, it takes us time. In fact, we are being constrained. It looks like we're constrained not to say so that more hammer or they are looking at us differently. But it shouldn't be so, because there's freedom of speech, there's freedom of. I'll give you an instance. This is a critical matter, and I think we're even going to express it more later this evening, because the nonchalant attitude displayed in times like this. Just 2 days ago, we had issue of Keating and NOC and Sports Ministry. That alone is a matter that is still hanging in the balance. It took the intervention of the Sports Minister to come to the aid of that challenge to quell the nature. I'm not sure that matter has been resolved. I'm sure we will still have some debris in the days to come. Recently, we saw what transpired, how after the opening ceremony, we saw the rainbow colors display, one of the picture or one of the stage performance. Some Christians came out to say that that was an abuse of the Pope.
Yeah.
And then French authority and the organizers of the Olympic came out to express that it is not, that it was a drama-filled segment and has nothing to do with Christendom. So look at the fast nature of coming out to tinker, to express concern, so that you disabuse the mind. Because sometimes to silence implies that yes, you have agreed to it, acceptance. So I'm thinking that this is not a good one, but like the sports minister have said, this matter will not be thrashed under the carpet. They will look at it and try to see how far we can go. But the truth is, Nigeria just lost a medal, and it shouldn't be taken for granted, Mike.
Definitely, it shouldn't be taken for granted. And of course, you saw the action of the sport minister. Immediately that matter came up, he did not even allow it to last more than 24 hours. In fact, less than 12 hours, he came up with a statement. And that is what we are talking. You need to show that precision. You need to show that capacity, that capability of you knowing what to do at the right point in time, because delay, they say, is very dangerous. The sport minister immediately issued a statement as regard to that. He said that the people that is responsible for this will not be taken, like they must go down and dig deep. I mean, he has also set up investigation team as well to pray into that matter, and that is the way to go. That is the way to take a drastic action. That is the way to show your leadership, example. Not for you to wait until 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, 2 days, no issue, no statement, and you say that you are doing your best. Which best are you doing? Where media right now, social media is everywhere. Just a little thing that you say, it goes viral, and the federation, a body that is entrusted with the responsibility of such magnitude, keeps mute, they are reticent and taciturn of saying anything as regard to a critical matter such as this. And you want us to believe that you are doing your best. How?
All right, the federation will not be doing their best. Athletes are not also doing their best, because we saw a very good fight from Anu Oluwapo, Joan Opeore, yesterday against a higher ranked opponent, but he fell to the firepowers or to the batting and shuttle of world number 6 Li Shifeng of China, who worked so hard, for every point and route to a 2-0 win over the Nigerian. 21-17, it ended. Ope already did his best, but his best wasn't just enough. But I love the fact that what is displayed is classical. It tells me that in Africa, as stands now, I can boldly say that it will still be very difficult for you to win Ope, because the man has a lot of experience and he is trained so hard. But man, when you play these Asians, this game is for the Asians. And who joins us the other day, Adetula will be right to say that truly you can't take it away from the Asians.
True. Despite Okoyori's bravery, he wasn't good enough. He put up an impressive display, but then I think the firepower of the Asian, overcame him that very well. But as a team captain, we also was rooting for him at least to do us proud, because at least his presence out as a team captain matters. Having been hosted out of the competition, losing your 2 straight games is not a good way to go. He even tried in this game, because the Asian is ranked 6th, while he is ranked 10th. Now, you come to take a look at...
I think the first game that he lost against a 181 ranked player.
He was shocking to me.
Yeah, that was why he got it wrong.
Yes, he was shocking to me.
Because if he had displayed the way he displayed in this game...
Yes, he should have...
I'm sure he would have been able to defeat that one.
Somebody that is ranked 181 and you are ranked 10th was able to defeat... such
a lot of us never knew that that would happen.
Yes.
But I think that he took that guy for granted. I don't think he took him for granted. The guy is not an Asian. He's an European. But the way he mounted in that first encounter, one would have expected. Well, I think that what will I say at this point now? It was highly predicted. If we get to win a game, that would have been very clinical. All we needed was just win a game, and the game would have seen him through. But win a game and then you break 2 records, go to the next round, and then you also be the first time in the history of badminton in Africa, at the Olympics, for a player to win a game. But it looks like this is not the Olympic where that record will be broken.
Yeah, maybe in the next Olympic. Let's hope that he stay fit in the next Olympic Games, and let's hope that we also continue to do our part in trying to discover other new generational talent as well, that is also going to complement him, because most times you can't actually put all of your eggs in one basket. When you do that, you become susceptible to dangers, because when one man is affected, it means that you are crashed out of the competition entirely. So there is need for us to also start developing other young and smart players out there that can also complement him as well. And looks like we will not stop talking about what is happening. But the good thing about this, Mike, is if I even talk about the story, Nigeria is not the only union. We're even happy, apart from some of the things that we just saw this week. Otherwise, we've had a calm prior to this moment, because Team Nigeria is yet to reflect on the medal table. That alone should be another problem, because some persons have... I know how these things work, which I'm not going to come out here to express. I know how these things work. I know a lot of motivations that have gone under. I know a lot of talks, in different federations, competitions, and all that. The same thing applicable to every other country represented at the Paris Olympic. And you ask yourself, since we've not reflected in the table, it shows that among the Committee of Nations, we are nowhere. We are nowhere. We can't even have a say in this particular one. And that alone is causing some crisis in the team. But I ask myself, the crisis of not being on the medal table, who should be responsible? Is it the federation, the athletes? Like we saw from Opera yesterday, we saw from the boxers, we saw from the table tennis federation. And what happens to them? Will they leave the camp? After they lose, are they going to vacate as a federation, or they will still be there as a contingent as part of the Nigerian team? What is the problem in the Nigerian camp? I think it's a myriad of challenges and problems that we are facing, but then I think some of these challenges you want to say it's not novel to Nigeria. Here, we do well, we strive well in the midst of difficulties. Despite not registering any medals yet in the medals log, I think that is not the major concern. The major concern is about the myriad of other problems or challenges rather that we are passing through, the challenges of our athletes, some of our athletes not living up to the expectation, the challenges of not being properly organized, talking about the NOC and the the sport ministry going back and forth on who was supposed to provide kits and all of that, the challenges of most of the big name stars that we looked up to at least to give us a a perfect start, the likes of Haruna Quadri, even the team captain also Kweyori knocked out, many of those challenges, which for me I think it outweighs we not being on the medals log, because there is still hope for us in picking up 1 or 2 medals out there. So for me, I think who to be held responsible, I think is both, because you talk about the sport ministry, they did their own part in ensuring that funds were provided for the preparation of this Nigerian team for this year's Paralympic game. You saw how the federal government was able to release the sum of 12 billion naira for their preparation. We saw how 100 million as well was also released by House of Assembly, Federal House of Assembly. So for me, it has been a very calm and cool preparation for Team Nigeria. Preparing and heading down to the Paralympic village with such confidence, brimming from our camp. We thought maybe we were going to hit the ground running, but then, most of our sportsmen and women have also failed us this time around because, like I said, I think in a long while, this is the first time in a long while where we are not having challenges of preparation leading to such a major competition where funds, was provided early, camp were open early, players started training early, So I think as it stands right now, it boils on our athlete to start living up to the billing, because we haven't had any of them cry out any foul, exception of, the athlete whose name was omitted, talking about faithful failure. So for me, I think it's a big challenge that our athletes others need to start living up to the expectation right now.
All right, we'll go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll talk about more from the Olympic and more other stories making round in sports. This is Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
the counter punch.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, it's Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network. Mike is here, and of course, I'm bringing you all the juicy stories manning out from the sporting world. And we're still talking about the Olympics. Today is the 6th of the Olympics, and Team Nigeria, we now had four teams hosted out from this year's Olympic. The Super Falcons just made it 4 so far hosted out from the Olympics, Mike.
Not a good one, not a good one at all. We thought maybe they would be able to at least do their best yesterday against Japan to at least get a win, get their first win in this year's Olympic game. But quite disappointing, we fell to the firepower of the Japanese. Early went down 2-0. But then I think Chejile was able to bring back some level of respite or hope when she actually netted a consolation, making it at the first half. We thought, yeah, a comeback might be real. But then before first half could end, they already made it 3-1. And coming back second half, we did our best, but our best weren't good enough. It was a total disappointment, a total embarrassing for our outing, playing 3 games, losing all of those 3 games against Brazil, against Spain, against Japan, conceding a total of 5 goals, scoring just 1 goal. That is to tell you how bad our performers were in the women Olympic Games for the Super Falcons. It wasn't an impressive display. Most of our key players that have been on form but have been on fire for their club side so far this season didn't actually live up to the expectation. It was a total sham. I think for me it's a big worry. And like I said yesterday, the coach talking about Randy Wardrum, he need to also start learning some new things in terms of tactics, because football has evolved beyond playing the defensive or the packing of the balls kind of play. Football have evolved in a lot. You need to be very dynamic. You need to also follow the trend and also try to add spice up your tactics as well. But you take a look at all the 3 games we played, majorly we're sitting back, trying to absorb pressure, trying to look for 1 or 2 loopholes to hit our opponents on the counter. It doesn't really work out that way in the modern kind of football. It doesn't at all. And in a transitional play, we are not good, but defensively we want to say, yes, we are good. But then I think that is the area that Randy Wardrum should also try to also add new things in his coaching ability, attack mind of play, so that at least get to such competition, you'll be able to deliver. Even if you bow out, you are going out holding your head very high, not just losing all your 3 games, conceding a total number of 5 goals, scoring just 1. It's not good enough, and we need to really improve.
We need to really improve, and I can tell you that that improvement is very, very necessary. And I mean, nobody would have believed that a team that played so well against, even if we lost the 2 first game, but we were able to hold our own. But I think what is lacking is our offense. I mean, you can be very defensive-minded, but if you are not offensive-minded, it's another problem on its own. We saw the last, in fact, the 2-3 games we played, we saw the possession massively on the side of in favor of our opponents. And when you are not possessing, no matter how defensive you are bound to lose.
Sure.
Or you're bound to be broken, because for how long will we be defending?
How long?
So I think that Randy Wardrum in the area of defense, yes, is good. But when you don't have, if you don't have an attacking-minded position, it's kind of very challenging. And that's why we're not even scoring goals.
That is it. And for me, the best form of defense
It's attack.
Attack. Yeah, like I said earlier, you can't always lock up your mind in trying to play adventurous football where football has evolved. You know, so for me, even continue to use the same tactics, the same patterns from game 1 down to the last game. 4-2-3-1 formation, 4-2-3-1 formation, 4-2-3-1 in all of those games that we played, it doesn't work out that way. You need to give players the freedom to express themselves. Players, they enjoy themselves on the pitch of play. They give their best when you allow them play in their natural position and express their God-given talent. Not a player that is more of attack mind and you tell the player to sit back because you want to contain your opponent. It doesn't work out no matter how good defensively.
Look at the way the Zambia team are playing. They give them the position to run. They concede goals, but they score goals.
They score goals.
That's good. They concede goals. Yesterday, I know they were really thrashed by Germany. I think the game ended 4-1. You know, but the good thing is that they have a way of coming back to games, even if they're going to lose. We saw what played out in the first game when they were leading, you know, the Australians. You know, before Australia came back and won that particular game in fine fashion. I think 5-4 it ended. But you know that they are a goal scoring side, the likes of Chansa and all of them. But I mean, for us, we've also that now. So we have basketball out, we have tennis out. That is table tennis. We have badminton out. We have boxing out, and we have one arm of our football. The only arm of football that is the Super Falcon goal.
Very high note, but then that straight red card yesterday wasn't a very good one for her career. Retiring with such, you know, more like a bad spot in her career is not a good one. That high-footed tackle wasn't actually, you know, befitting for a player such as Mata, who has rather been one of the, you know, leading lights in terms of women's football over the years. So for me, not a good outing for Mata, not a good outing for Brazil per se, because take a look at their history, take a look at their record. I think you expected them at least, you know, to come out of this group, possibly topping the group. Then you talk about maybe Spain or even Japan trying to play the second fiddle, but then Brazil find themselves in third position, begging to see if they can also progress through via best loser, which for me, not good for a team such as Brazil.
Not good for a team such as Brazil, and I can tell you that I also feel that I mean their chances of even progression also looks at them, but for Mata, it's quite very unfortunate for her, like you said. Yeah. All right, let's move on now and let's talk more important to the United States maintain a perfect start to a 2-1 victory over the Australia to top Group B, and sort of a meeting with Japan in the quarter-finals. The way the Japanese play, they play like a team like, I mean, they look very young, but play like a very coordinated team. And I doubt if you are not technically sound, it's kind of difficult for you to us them out. So they have to be at their best. You know, the US have to be at their best. They must get something from these ladies.
Yeah, I think the US, they're already doing pretty well. When it comes to the women football,
they're one of the best.
I think they are one of the best. So for me, and also having gotten one of the best female coaches in former Chelsea ladies coach, talking about Emma Hayes, who also spent 12 good years with the blue side, talking about Chelsea, winning 7 you know, Super League for the Chelsea side, including 4 or 5 straight one. I think it's a good way. They have added more firepower to their technical crew, and she has also brought that wealth of experience to bear in the US women team out there. That is why they are doing perfectly well, and you expect them to be one of you know, the gold medal contender for this year's edition. Taking a look at their performance, taking a look at the quality of the coach that they have, taking a look at the experience, you know, players that is within their rank as well. So you tip them to be at least one of the favorites for this year's women medals in the football events.
All right, so let's look at the quarterfinals fixtures in football. Women football, United States will take on Japan. Spain versus Colombia. That game will be played in Lyon. Canada will take on Germany. That game will be played in Marseille. France will host Brazil. Finally, who qualified via the third place playoffs. And of course, that game will be played in Nantes. And we'll get to see how far. Let's still talk about other matters that we have. Swimming, our men's 50-meter freestyle heat will kick off today at the Olympic Aquatic Center. And the Tigers will also play their second women's group game today against France. This is going to be very tough, but Mike will sure look out for this particular flower, and this is the only team that seems to put smiles on the faces of millions of Nigerians so far.
Sure, I think it's going to be a very keenly contested one between the D-Tigress and the host country, talking about France. It's not going to be an easy one. Playing in the front of, your opponent home crowd where, more pressure will be piled against you as, the visiting team. Is going to be a very difficult one for the players to cope with. But then, I believe they have what it takes to also surmount some of this pressure and deliver when it matters more, just like what they did against Australia in their first game. So I believe they will still be banking on that high hope and high confidence of winning Australia by 75 to 62, coming up against France, which is another very strong and a top-ranked team as well. It's going to be a tough one, a challenging and daunting task for Rena Wakama, but then I think the girls has what it takes. The likes of Ezine Kalu, Ami Okonkwo, Mushiratu, just name it. I think we have the firepower to also match France, for toe-to-toe in today's game.
To match them toe-to-toe, let's see how far. But lastly, before we leave the studio, we'll talk tennis now. And Spain Carlos Alcaraz has joined 24-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic in the Olympic medal singles quarter-finals. But Alcaraz and 14-time French Open champion Rafael Nadal were ousted out in the doubles.
Yeah, I think it's not surprising in the doubles. I expected them to be roasted out because it is only one man that was bearing the pains, the pressure, the energy. It's only Carlos Alcaraz pairing up against a 38-year-old man. I think most of the pressure and the load lied on Carlos Alcaraz if you actually watch the game, because there is a young lad that has the energy to be able to run around and, do some good work out there, and that is why I knew it immediately that pair was made. I just said it, a few days ago that it is only Carlos Alcaraz that is going to suffer on the courts in the doubles, because his youthful energy and his exuberance will be put to test when he come up against their opponent. And of course, that is what happened. You don't expect, Rafael Nadal to be at his peak game when he was still maybe like 20-something thereabouts. So for me, I think it's not surprising for me.
Another person will also tell you that, the dynamics of play when it comes to the singles is not the same as the doubles. And he needs an with the guys that usher them out, that is what they do. When you go to play in the singles, they play in the doubles, in Grand Slams, in ATPs. So you understand that they understand the dynamics. They know how to trick you. You may be very good as a singles player, but when you come to the doubles, the different ball game altogether, because how many hours have you trained, to say that you want to compare guys who have experience? So generally, it's not. I think yes, energetic flow, but 6-4, 6-2, it ended. That's the straight set for them. So I think that their best wasn't just enough. They never dropped a set. That tells you that they won in fantastic fashion. But like you said, if we had more energy from Rafael Nadal, maybe that would have helped the process. But that was not to be seen. A lot has happened, and of course, it's time to pack our bags and leave the